Hi viewers, welcome to Strike. In today's video, we'll have a overall sentiment update on the market. So let's jump right to it. Before we begin, if you're not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe for such future updates. So I'm jumping right into the sentiment indicators. So first up is the 20-day advanced decline ratio, which compares the number of stocks advancing and decline throughout the market for the last averaged on the last 20-day basis. So let me change it to a candle chart. So around this bottom, we all know that the small cap and mid cap indices fell a lot more than the headline index, that is Nifty, and we reached the second oversold line here on the market breadth, which meant we are at a very oversold level, and we highlighted the same through our video updates as well as on our Twitter handle that this is a very oversold reading, and from there on there was an expectation of a bounce, and now we have come out of the oversold zone. The breadth is still not overbought. It's just out of the oversold zone, and we have hit a new high on the index. Same is the case if we try to look at other indicators like the 40-day advanced decline and the momentum swing. So momentum swing is interesting because this is a diffusion index of momentum on all FNO scripts, and here we noticed a very prominent positive divergence right before this bottom, and the swing accelerated to about 95, and now it is cooling off. So the a very high reading of swing on like the above 90 does not mean that it is going to be a top right away, but you can see the previous patterns. Like here, it can hit a high number in the beginning of the rally, and then swing can diverge while the market still keeps on going up with lesser participation from stocks. So this initial pickup in the swing is basically an indicator of mass participation, but eventually the participation decreases, and multiple divergences there is a top. Now what is interesting is on the sentiment front is the volume put call ratio. It is the market wide put call ratio smoothened on a 14-day basis. So if it's a very high number, it basically means the trading in puts is actually very high relative to calls, which means overall sentiment might still be bearish while people are trading more and more in puts. So what you can see here is high readings are actually associated with bottoms. So this indicator actually had a range shift to a new territory from 2022 onwards. And you can see the high readings here, whichever I am highlighting, are actually associated with bottoms and not tops. So now as well, we are still elevated on the volume put call ratio, and the only difference is we are not at a swing low point as of now. We are almost at a high. So this still needs to cool down before we can say that we are nearing a top in the market on a sentiment front. Now, if we look at positioning as well, so the most important data points here are FIIs as well as clients position. So I'll add both of them on the single chart. So here what you can see is when FIIs are extremely short, that is actually a signal of market bottom, and opposite to that, when clients are long, it is a signal of market bottom. Now what happened on the recent lows here was FIs were not extremely short, but they were still short to some extent, but clients were actually quite long, so they were in the middle of the both overbought lines. So right now they are just starting to reduce their long positions, and FIs are building long positions. So we would expect that FIs can still stretch their positions to this 60,000 or 90,000 mark, and clients can become net short while we try to see a final top in the market. Now while this is the update from overall market point, if we try to look at diffusion indicators based on different indices, then also we'll try to spot what's the update there. Now in diffusion indicators, This is the percentage of stocks with RMI in bullish mode for the Nifty. So here this number had touched 80 and right now it's 74. So it's trying to cool off. But the more interesting part is if we try to look at other indices like Nifty 500, this number is very elevated at 92 since a couple of days. So here also you will see the same behavior as we noticed in the daily swing or the average swing, that this number can elevate a lot in the beginning of a rally and then cool off while making divergences while the market still continues to hold important levels. So if you look at other indices as well, so even for mid cap it is holding steady at 94. For the small cap index also, small cap index is actually very high at 98, which means 98 out of 100 small cap 100 stocks are actually having bullish RMI, and for the total market also it is at 94. So that's the quite a elevated number here on the RMI bullish uh, signal. So what we can see here is that even if this rally is to continue, we may expect a little consolidation or at least participation from less number of stocks or some kind of rotation. We look at number of stocks above 20-day average, then also we'll see the similar elevated readings throughout the market. Except Nifty 50. So Nifty 50 is actually taken a step back on the diffusion indicators. So could it also mean that there is going to be a rotation to large caps? So well, we cannot know that in advance, but that is something to note, that Nifty 50 itself is not that overbought like other indices with that's visible here. So we look at net new highs as well, which means how many more stocks are making new highs versus new lows. So if you guys remember, when this indicators went negative on the small and mid cap indices back in March, we highlighted the same, and there has been a complete cycle of the new lows, and now it is going back to net new highs. So as we can see, the stocks continued to make new lows, but now the new high cycle is starting. So let me see for other indices as well. Yeah, so similar case here for Nifty mid cap 100. So we noticed back here on 6th of March when the indicator went negative. We went through a complete cycle, and then you can see new lows started to decrease, and finally stocks are back to making new highs. So this new high cycle is still in progress and we are yet to see divergences on these indicators. So that was a quick sentiment highlight with strike. So what we are seeing here is the readings are starting to elevate again. So maybe we can expect some kind of rotation or consolidation. But if we just talk about from positioning or volume put call ratio point of view, then those are few areas where we are still not that much elevated. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for further updates.